Okie dokie. So I think I posted 9 a.m. for my broadcast this morning, but I'm gonna start a little early because I'm actually going to the doctor today. My cough has turned into something more. I'm not feeling so hot. Got a little bit of a sore throat, so it's either really bad allergies or I've got something else going on. So I'm gonna be able to broadcast for about an hour and a half this morning, but I'm just gonna get started on Apocalypse on the figure. So the first thing I've got to do is I've got to work on the black and gray clothing, or the gray and dark gray clothing. So I can start, and then while I'm at my doctor's appointment, I'll stop I'll make all my rounds to all the paint stores, Hobby Town, Hobby Lobby, and we have this really killer comic book called Madness Comic Books right around the corner from me, and they sell obviously comics, but they actually sell sideshow statues, Gundams, games, toys, and they have paints there too. So that some Army Painter paints is where I get those from. So I'm gonna make all the rounds because I don't have all the colors I need for Apocalypse. I need some more metallic blues. I think I want to get some more of these craft paints actually because I think Apocalypse is gonna be mostly hand painted because there's so much detail. I think just looking at the references Tony sent me, I think hand painting is the way to go because I would spend days and days masking, and I think because he's kind of all weathered and beat up, um, I can do hand painting and all the shading and stuff that way. So I'll be a little more kind of that's what I want. Sorry, I'm trying to open my references here. So I've got references of another paint up of a Wicked piece, and I've also got some references from XM as far as the clothing goes. So for the clothing, I mean, it's all clothing, but like for all this mesh area, we're gonna do like two-tone light gray and a dark gray, almost black. So I think what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna base coat everything in black. This is gonna get metallic blue stripes. The collar's gonna go metallics. I think I can get so gray, maybe dark. I have to look again at my reference here. Uh, Maybe lighter gray, dark gray, dark gray. I like this texture as a dark gray. I like the dark gray as the accent, so that's what we're gonna do. And then on the arms, I like what they did on the Wicked reference. They kind of did light gray, or dark gray, and a light gray stripe. So we're gonna is it all light gray? It actually only has a couple accent panels in the outfit, and you actually don't see too much. So anyway, that's my ADHD. Let me get the air compressor going. It's already going. Yeah, but I gotta get to the doctor. I gotta get some drugs. I need something to get rid of this cough. And I actually slept pretty good last night. I was surprised how well I slept considering how I felt. I think I'm just tired. Every once a year I get sick, and when I get sick, I get sick. There's no messing around. It's usually around this time, unfortunately. So it's gotta be allergy related. Um, yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys. But yeah, I guess I've got to sign off around. Alexa, set an alarm for 10:30 a.m.
Alarm set.
I've got to sign off right around 10:30 so I can shower and get dressed to go to the doctor. Anyway, so I'm gonna start off with just base coating everything. Of course, I left my airbrush full of paint yesterday. Dummy me. Let me clean this out real quick. Luckily, should be this out pretty easily. So I finished the base yesterday. It looks freaking phenomenal. This morning I did a couple little touch-ups on it. Just really small things. The urns actually went quicker than I thought they would. I thought those would take me like 3 or 4 hours to do. I got them done in like 2.5, 3 hours. They look really good. So I'm happy with those. I also spend the morning cleaning up my workbench because it was a complete disaster from the base. So we set it every once in a while. You can see I've got a bunch of paints out here, lots of metallics. Some paints I actually have never used before. Like I got a lot of these MIG ammo metallics. So those were sent to me years ago to review. And to be honest, I could never get them to spray. So I just never. I told the guys I can't get these to spray no matter what I do. So I was like, my review is that they suck. That's my review. But that was when I had never used acrylics before. So there is a difference. You go straight from lacquers to acrylics, and you never used acrylics. There is a learning curve. Lacquers are easy in my opinion. They're like super easy to use. That's why I like them, and they atomize so well. Acrylics are way more finicky. With all the dry tip and all the shit that goes along with acrylics. Okay, so again, we're going to go black Stynylrez res. I like what this one reference Tony sent me. It's really nice. I like what they did. They dry brushed everything and it brought all these really nice textures in the sculpt. So I think we can do that. Cause I like it gives it a nice kind of rustic look. And I have a feeling this guy's supposed to look kind of rustic and aged. So that's what we're gonna do. So again, this is just Badger's Black Stynylrez res. And if I see a support mark, I've got my little knife out here because there are some that I missed. So you go in here and just shave it off. So I'm constantly kind of cutting those off as I see them. So I don't get them all. There's no, I mean, so we'll see how much I can get done in an hour and a half. I'm going to get a lot done. I'll probably get this base coat on and maybe the dry brushing done. And then I may come back on later this afternoon. We'll see. I really want to take a day off, but I don't ever take sick days. If I take today off, then I'll work on the weekends. I may have to take a day off to just chill. Hopefully they give me some drugs. And they give me a Z-Pack and get some steroids in me, then they'll kick in. I'll feel good tomorrow. I feel better today than I did yesterday afternoon. Man, last night I felt like absolute shit. So I think getting a good night's rest really made a difference. But yeah, I don't take sick days. If I take a day off in the middle of the week, I work on a day on the weekend. Like I said earlier, I was 2 years ago I was killing myself to get in 50 to 55 hours a weekend, but now my goal is 40 to 45 hours a week. If I do more, I do more. I don't stress over and I don't kill myself to get it in. Oh, the golden stuff is great. Unfortunately, I used to be able to get it at a local art supply store here, but they closed. But I love the golden paints. The high flow. I've been using. I was using those. I need to get online and just order a bunch of them. But the place here locally, they always had them on sale, so I could get them a really good price. But yeah, they're great. I've got some left over. I was using them for skin tones for a while. It was nice I could go to my local hobby store if I ran low because I could run and go grab a bottle. I also need to try the Pro Acryl paints, and I've heard those are good. There's so many options out there. For a while, I wanted to start my own paint line, solvent-based paint line that was available easily to get in the U.S. because Mr. Color is my favorite line of paints, but it goes through phases. It was really easy to get for a while. Now it's really hard to get. The problem with doing that, it's very expensive to get it started. If you do a solvent-based paint line, you have a lot more hoops to jump through because of how caustic they are. So you got a lot more governmental things you got to deal with as far as all that crap goes. There's a guy on YouTube, Barbatos Rex, I think is his paint, but I've never actually seen him build anything, but he's a great resource for paint reviews. He reviews just about every single paint ever put out. So if I want to try new paint and I don't know anything about it, I go to his channel, I check it out because he's probably got a review on it. He's a Gundam guy, and he's got his own line of paints now. So I'm not sure who's manufacturing for them. I'm sure they're manufactured overseas. The ideal is to have them actually manufactured in the U.S. So there's no, international having to deal with international shipping and crap. What's up, Voodoo? But SMS Paints, they're from Australia, and that was I wouldn't say he's a buddy of mine, but a Facebook friend that used to build a lot of Gundam stuff, and then he started his own paint line. He's out of Australia, and it's all made in Australia. So his business has grown very successfully over the past 10 years. He started out in his garage with like 12 colors, filling bottles by hand. And then as he sold more, he grew the color line. But to get those in the US are expensive. It's like $8 a bottle. And I use so much volume, I'm doing my best to not have to like charge for supplies on top of my paint fee. For Gundams I do because they're expensive. So the Sazabi I did, the paint supplies on that alone was almost $200 just for the paint. For Gundams I typically charge my fee plus supplies because supplies can run high. I would say on average for a big guy like this Apocalypse, my paint supply cost is probably, I sat down and really did the math, anywhere from $50 to $100 for supplies. Now this guy's got some magnets in it, so that is figured into the cost. There's no magnets, probably $50 for paint and stuff. Alright, so we're going to base coat all these textures in black. And then I'll probably go seal them real quick. Now I can do dry brushing because Pro Curl's made in Arizona. Sweet. I didn't know that. So it's US made. Alright, so this center chest goes metallic blue, so I'm not going to base coat that black yet. I'm going to just do all this textured area. There's some support marks I saw on the torso this morning that I went in and took off. They just shaved off real easily. So these 3D prints, especially when you use like the Sunlu anytime you use like an ABS resin, like I always say, it's got some flex to it. So when you when I tap it, when I accidentally tap it on my desk like that, it actually sounds like vinyl. If you ever worked with a vinyl kit, like a really nice vinyl kit, it's got that sound to it. Again, it's hard to explain. People like, oh, it's like it sounds different. Like, yeah, if you were to knock it, it sounds different. It doesn't have a hard knocking sound. It's got that kind of sound of vinyl. So I kind of equate working with these big 3D prints as like working with a high quality vinyl kit, even though they're not made out of vinyl. it's kind of like working with vinyl. It's really interesting. Yeah, so when I'm doing something like this and I'm going to be dry brushing, it's really important that I get any support marks taken care of because they will pop out the second I start to dry brush. Fucking cough, oh my god. I was at Wonderfest last year and I was coughing all over the place and I was like, oh man, you're like, and I didn't feel sick, I just had this damn cough. It was like so annoying. I was like, avoiding me like the plague. Here's a little support mark, a little support here I missed. There's a couple right here. Let's cut those off. You got the support. This is just some dirt in there. Primer. My goal is to get this done by Friday. I would really like to have them done by Friday. We'll see. So that'll be 9. If I'm gonna have to take a little time off today for my doctor's appointment, but so I may not get it done by Friday. I'll get them done over the weekend. So this is gonna be a longer project. Again, 3D prints always take longer just to give all the prep and stuff ahead of time. So they're always gonna cost more to do. But you're gonna get a piece that, even though it's on Wicked's website, you know, you're gonna get really a one of a kind piece because even though other people may print it, they're all gonna be painted differently. So that's kind of the cool thing about the 3D printing is like you're definitely gonna have a one of a kind. Because I'm doing another one of these, and even if I was to try to, you know, if you wanted it done the same way, it would still be different than this. Just since I'm doing it at different times. I'm put this on relatively light and building it up. So it's interesting looking at my phone. I think like a wider view on YouTube certainly. It's weird. I don't know. Yeah, so I think I'll take this to Wonderfest. I don't know if I enter the contest or just from the judges table. If I put on the, I don't think I can enter the into the contest. I've got stuff on the judges table. I haven't entered the contest in when was the last time I entered a contest? I didn't enter last year or the year before. I think 2019 was probably the last time I entered. I didn't go in, obviously 2020 because everything was shut down, and I didn't go 2021 because my daughter's dance recital was the same weekend. And actually, her dance recital was the same weekend this year, but I'd already scheduled it before we knew the dates of her recital. So, and I've seen her And her recitals, I've already seen all her. I've seen her perform 3 or 4 times already, all these dances. So it's not like I'm missing it all the time. It's not like I'm missing something I haven't seen. So Steiner Rose, you gotta put it on, you gotta let it dry a little bit, and then check it, because even though it looks like it's covering 100%, it's not. You gotta let it dry down. Some glue, that is. Make sure. There's some excess epoxy there. I didn't catch it before. Yeah, since I do have this glued together, it's gonna be hard to get paint in some areas. It'll make it work. Oh, National Color. Have you been to Winterfest before? Yeah, I got a lot of stuff to bring to Winterfest this year. I got to bring, I drive the Kia Soul, so it's not a huge car. But it's amazing how much stuff I can get in it. Actually really like it, even though the engine blew up on me 2 years ago. I'd buy another one. I'm going to bring the Sazabi to put in Room B. I'm going to bring the Punisher to put on the judge's table. I just did recently. I've got to bring a box with all my stuff for my demo on how to prepare 3D prints. And a 3D print to use as a demo. I've got one here that I need to look at, see if I can just use it. I really want to print something, but I don't have to. Let's see if the Wolverine I have here from Bond is cut and key in a way that I can do the demo that I want to do. Okay, so it's basically 2 light coats of the Styrylrez on everything. Styrylrez is a great, I mean it's primer, but it works great for a black base coat, just for as paint. It's all the time for that. And believe it or not, blacks do have different blacknesses. That makes sense. You should, man. Nashville, you're close. Nashville, yeah, you're not that far. Um, in the past I would drive and stay in Memphis overnight, because from my door to Winterfest is 12 hours. The last time I drove straight through 12 hours, and I plan on doing that this year. It was actually pretty easy. But yeah, Nashville, not far. All right. So we're gonna do is once this dries, I'm gonna seal it. I'm gonna dry brush it all, and I'll do some shading, and then I'm gonna go on these black panels and probably just airbrush wash over them to darken it. That's kind of my plan. They stand out. That's my. Oh, alright, let's put that to the side. It's gotta dry. Now, the question is, the problem is I don't have any gray. I don't have any gray paint. I could mix some. I'm low on white too. I really need to go to Hobby Town or Hobby Lobby. I keep saying that, but I haven't done it yet. Like this little bottle's $4.25. This little bottle of white. I mean, I may not be able to do much more, to be honest. What's up, Tony? I may not be able to do anything else because I need to go get paint. I need gray, and I really don't like custom mixing it because if I run out, I won't ever get it mixed the same. So, I mean, to be honest, guys, this may be it for right now. Woo, exciting stuff. I never did get it out yesterday. By the time I got done working, I had to go pick up my son and take him to his tryouts. I have used, actually this might work. I used Garage that US paint. It's actually dried pretty good. Yeah, man, I had to clean up from yesterday. I cleaned up this morning from the base. You know, I had shit everywhere. You just have to do that to reset every once in a while, you know. It's gonna get messed up pretty quick though, don't worry. So I think this aged bone would be a nice tone for the light gray. It's got some warmth to it, and the warm gray will look great against all the blues. Oh, I gotta do the head. I gotta prime the head because that goes great too. Yeah, so that warm gray will look great. The warm grays against all the blues will look really good. So we'll see how much I can get done before 10:30 before I gotta sign off. I'm going to my doctor and get some drugs. I don't have a hole drill in the bottom. I usually have a hole drill in the bottom of the head so I can put it on a stick. I don't have a hole drill in this guy. May have to do. Alright, everything in the black base coat. Yeah. What do you want to do? Put a fingerprint there. Let's put that to the side for now. Okay. Yeah, man, it's bad. Like I was, it's in my lungs, man. It gets to the point where I cough so hard I get dizzy. Like I feel like I'm gonna pass out. I did that a few times yesterday, man. I was afraid to stand up, but it's all in my lungs. So I have to go when I go to the doctor. I have to wear a mask and all that, just in case I got the vid. I don't think I do, but you never know. I'm pretty sure I've probably had it in the past. Every time I've been tested for it, it's come back negative. But I'd be surprised if I haven't had it yet. I have a neighbor that's had it 3 times now, going on 4. It's like he's had it so many damn times. It's ridiculous. All right, now let's keep. This has been a while since someone asked me about my paint shaker yesterday. That's what I got right here. This guy. Oh damn. Yeah, we used to have. So I live. There's a farm behind me, which is kind of weird because I live in the middle of the suburbs. But where I live, there's a farm behind me. So when I go out my driveway, there's cows and horses, which is kind of cool. But they used to have a bunch of dogwood trees out there, and it would just float in the air and wreak havoc on my air conditioning systems. One of those trees has died, and they've taken it down. But is this paint any good? This paint may not be good. Let's see. It's old. This aged bone is a really good color. I love it. So I think you weren't here, Tony. But I'm going to dry brush all this because I'm going to use your hybrid of your references. I'm going to dry brush and bring all the texture out in this clothing, and then he's only got a couple accent panels to make dark, so like his pants and the thighs. Those would go a darker tone. But on his chest, it's all the same. There's no accent panels. So it's only really on the legs and his pants that go darker. Everything else is going to be that lighter gray. Oh, I need this. Paint palettes. About time to go through and clean these guys up. They've been used and abused. Well, let's see if I can dry brush without sealing. Let's see what happens. So this color is called Aged Bone. Yeah. My dirty working. I got my dirty working pants on, my dirty working towel. Great thing about this is if you don't like it, just go back and base coat it in black again. Sounds like a freaking fly in my room. Driving me nuts. Alright, so we're going to just dry brush this on. You know, bring it up pretty bright because we're going to go back and do some more shading. Even though this kind of does some shading up by itself. I'm going to go back and hit this again with some more black. It keeps them in my airbrush so I can. The thing about these Garage Kits paints is they're really, really thin, so let that dry a little bit. Actually, let me try a different brush. I think this has got. Just gotta get all the paint off. There we go. That's looking good. That's what I want right there. Keeping it real light. I'm not putting any pressure on the brush, just letting it do its thing. I want to bring all this texture in the suit because it looks really good. Okay, there's a little support there. I could probably leave it, you never know, but it popped out when I dry brushed it, so I just shave it off and dry brush back over it. This is looking really good in there. That's kind of what we're going. That's what we want. Support right there. Yeah, what I like about Bond's prints are his support settings. And right there. Yeah, if it pops out and sticks out, I take care of it. If it's in an area that we don't see, I'm not gonna worry about killing myself to spend the time to fix it. But if it's in an area where like, ooh, that's really, really noticeable, then we take care of it. This arm's looking really good. Even though it's gonna be this is gonna be a lighter gray, it's still gonna be relatively toned down. It's gonna be super, super bright. the references I have, the grays are really, really cool. But I think a warmer gray is going to look really good against all the metallic blues and everything we're going to do. So that's why I went with a warmer gray. But that's looking pretty sharp. What are you looking for, man? I got kits for sale. Looking for big stuff? I got a few that I would love to sell. They're just taking up space I'll never get to. I've got a quarter scale Hulk. I've got a quarter scale Onslaught. So Onslaught doesn't have a box. He would actually really need to be picked up. I have the box for the Hulk. I've got a couple quarter scale Wolverines. I have a quarter scale Superman. I have a quarter scale Link. Okay, so this looks pretty good. So I'll probably leave that as is, and I'll go back with one more brighter highlight. And then when we go back and do the shading, I'll tone it down. Where do you live? You have to dig out pics. I took pics of a long time ago. I can send you. I could probably send you photos. They won't be my photos, but I can send you photos of what the pieces are, because they're all boxed up except for a few of them. Okay, so there's some areas where in the sculpt the texture isn't quite as so where I thought I just sprayed some more black over, so I thought I overdid the dry brushing. It's actually the sculpt is a little softer there, so sometimes you find that the texture isn't quite as pronounced. The dry brushing maybe looks a little overdone, so you just gotta be a little lighter handed with it. Oh, New Braunfels, yeah. Oh, what's your name again? You come up to the San Antonio show, right, and bought stuff from me. Forget your name. I'm sorry. I mean, depending on what and how much you buy, maybe we meet halfway rather than trying to ship it. Especially to get this Onslaught out of here. Onslaught would be cheap. I think it's like $600 for Onslaught. He's big. Um, that's looking pretty good. Let's look at those compared to each other. Yeah, so there's a flat spot here where the texture quite isn't as pronounced. So it gets a little. Oh, Robert, that's right. Sorry, man. Yeah, man, you bought all my big stuff last year. I'm kind of regret selling the blade. I really wish I would have kept the blade. It'd be a fun one to do. Hold on, let me. Again, I work in my lap a lot, guys. So let me, guess you can see what I'm doing. Working over my desktop, my desk is really not easy. It's much easier to sit here and work on my lap. Yeah, so I might have one or two that you've seen before. I've got a brown Wolverine with kind of like a samurai. It's not a samurai base, but like a Japanese type base. I've got a Wolfpack's yellow Wolverine. I've got the quarter scale Hulk with I think it's got 4 heads, 3 or 4 heads. I got a quarter scale Onslaught. I do have an Age of Apocalypse kit. I painted that one twice for other people, but I have my personal kit from DXA Designs. That's a really it's a lot of people don't like the sculpt. I like it. It's just kind of it's just really different. Okay, I just want to make sure that we're similar. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Yeah, well, we can chat later. Like I said, if you buy, if you want to buy, a bunch of stuff, we can meet halfway. Oh, actually, it depends on what can fit in my car. I have to drive my wife's car. She doesn't let me drive in her car. She doesn't trust me. And the reason is because um, right after she got her car, I had an accident. And like 3 weeks after she got her car, this was years ago, but it was brand spanking new, and I got in an accident with it, and it was my fault. So she doesn't trust me with her car. I don't know why. Okay, so this left arm sculpt, there's a soft spot in it because I had the same spot on this one. Just mean the texture isn't quite as well as pronounced for some reason in the sculpt. It's on both of them. The one I printed, the one that Mon sent me. So I know it's not my print. It's just the way it is. No big deal. Oh, nice. You got the Mega AK. Did you get the AK or did you get the newer one that they just released? It's the kind of updated version of it. It's basically the same printer, but they added a couple bells and whistles to it. But as far as print volume, and resolution, it's the same as the first Mega AK. I think like the Revo or Revo or something. Yeah. Oh yeah, mine's got the doors. It depends on your workspace. So for me, the doors works better for my workspace because the way I have it. If you have it like on a table, I prefer like the flip up lid. If I had room for a flip up lid, but also the doors on mine are metal, so which is nice. Where the flip up lid is plastic, and those get really messy and it's like impossible to clean. At least the metal, I can clean it. It cleans up pretty easily if I get resin on it. So we get some just kind of just from the dry brush. We get some shading from the get go because obviously the bristles don't get into the muscles as much. But we're gonna accentuate that. We're gonna bring it out. Let's make sure that we look pretty similar. Yeah, we look good. Oh, a KV2. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been keeping with printers. The only one I've seen that came out recently that was like, ooh, would make me want to buy another printer is the Saturn 4, whatever the latest Saturn 4 is, because of the tilting resin bed. Um, that would be awesome for reduction of peel forces. It works very similar to the form printers, where the resin bed tilts down and peels away from the at the same time as the build plate moves away from the resin. So I'm going to do this color. I'm going to do one more highlight. Maybe I'll just go with some white. Actually, I've got another color I can use for this. Semi-transparent gray 1, which is pretty close to white. And that'll give me nice bright highlights. And then when I go do the shading, it should all blend in nicely. That's my thought process. So the most 90% of what you see is sent to me by my clients. I can 3D print. I don't do a lot of printing. I've got all the printers and stuff, but I can 3D print. But most of what you see is stuff sent to me by my clients. Like this is a 3D print that was printed by Bond Norden. I could technically print this piece. Um, I got a printer big enough to do it. Bond charges I think $850 for this print if I remember correctly. which is a really good price for this piece because it's freaking huge and there's a lot of materials in it. So there's a lot of, and I found this out when I first started to 3D print that, oh, it's really easy, it's really quick. It's everything but really easy and really quick. It can be easy, but it's still slow. Um, there's a lot of work involved. You got all the file prep you got to do. Then you got to print it, and hopefully everything prints without any failures. If something fails, you got to go back and rework the file, figure out what's going on. Then you got to print it, and this guy probably took hundreds of hours to print between however many printers Bond has. I think he's got 2 Mega AKs and some smaller ones. But yeah, and then you got to take the prints off the printer. You got to wash them, take the supports off. Then you got to cure them. So there's a lot of work involved. And so when I first started again, I said, oh, that's going to be easy. It's like, oh man, there's actually a lot of work involved in printing. Yeah, that was a wicked print. That was also printed by Von Norden. That was actually a little oversized. It wasn't quarter scale. It was closer to like 1/3.5 scale. Not quite third, not quite, not third, but not fourth. He's a little oversized. For some reason, I don't know why they printed it a little bit bigger. Okay, so this is looking really good. So we're bringing all the details in the sculpt. And again, we're going to go back and we're going to add another highlight to this because I'm going to go in with the airbrush and shade everything a little bit more. This is just to bring out the textures. Oops, got a little too aggressive there. There's a freaking fly stuck between my blinds and the window and it's driving me nuts. You ever watch Breaking Bad? That's my favorite show. The episode Fly. That's what I feel like right now. That it's fucking flying here. Driving me nuts. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I'm using my smaller dry brush because it's got stiffer bristles. Some support right there. Let's see. There. You never see these once the arms are on. It's up on the armpit. We're going to take them off anyway. Right there. So I got to look at all the undercuts, see if I missed something. And they're really small, so they come off easily. Yeah. It's really nice, man. I told Bonds like, "This is your best print I've gotten from you. From this is the best print I've gotten from you." He's like, "I don't know how to take that. Like, take it as a compliment. Like, your stuff is good. This one is for some. It's just really, really good." There's a panel here. I'm gonna do that metallic because this is. So I should go metallic blue. Hopefully I get at least this first round of dry brushing done before I gotta go. This is a slow process. You gotta build it up slowly. You just can't go in there and start mashing paint on. Got some supports here I missed. Really, really small. No one would notice that they're there, but I see them. There's a bunch right here. As the light hits it, it's when they pop out. Well, it's a good thing I have to go to the doctor. It forces me to stop and go to the stores and get paint. But yeah, so this texture's coming out real nice. And once we do another highlight and then do the shading, it'll look really good. You see me kind of doing this on my hand. So when the paint just barely comes off on my hand, then I know I've got the right amount of paint on the brush. It's kind of my test. This dry brushing is really good at kind of establishing all the shading and highlights too. I'm gonna show you guys can see what I'm doing here. You can, yeah, you can. So I ended up not sealing the black styrene resin. It's working just fine. I'd have to seal it first, but nope. Too much. Again, the great thing about painting a subject like this is that kind of like the more little mistakes and inconsistencies I have in it, it looks better. It just looks more natural. It's kind of different from doing like, I guess like maybe like a Wolverine or something where the costume just, initially is like just really clean. You gotta be really precise, way more precise with your paint work and stuff. I can be a little sloppy on this and have it, and it sells it. So I'm not stressing out about so much about it. It's a little easier to. Okay, so now maybe I got to talk to Tony about this, but we have two different types of fabric for the gray. We got this textured fabric and this smooth fabric. So my initial thought was that this would be light, this would be light, and I would just make the pants and the thigh panels dark. That's kind of what I was thinking. Because the center part goes metallic blue in the back. And I may only get half a day's worth of work in today just because of my doctor's appointment stuff. We'll see. I'm starting off with everything the same tone. And I'm going to shade everything, and then whatever I decide to make darker, I was just going to go in there and airbrush some black wash on top to tone that area down so it's a darker tone. Yeah, I just wish they had. I wish the one thing I wish they would have done in the sculpt is had. So we had like this kind of smooth leather here. I wish they would have put that some up here in the torso. Because I'm always when I'm looking at how to paint a fabric, I like to paint the same textures, the same color, because that's what makes sense. It's like the same fabric, you know. So that's the only thing I wish I would have done. Put some of the smoother texture up top. It's mostly this kind of really nice textured type fabric. Okay. I'm getting close to being done with this round, I think. Okay, I think that's looking pretty good. I'm gonna come in with uh, the semi-transparent warm gray number 1. It's pretty bright, but I'm gonna bring it up brighter than I need, so when I do the shading, it gets knocked down. Damn cough. Oh man. Sorry guys. Yeah, lightly. This goes a little bright right now, but we're gonna bring it down. We're trying to hit the high spots with this highlight. Blend it in the previous dry brushing a little bit. But once we start airbrushing some shadows and other stuff and blending it all tie together better. Yeah, trust the process. Time we at? My alarm's gonna go off in about 15 minutes for me to stop and go shower and stuff. I'm not trying to cover up the previous color all the way because it's, a little gives us some more tonal variation. I'm just trying to bring out the highlights a little bit more this step. Again, I'm gonna go shade this. This is all gonna get knocked down. It's pretty bright right now. We don't want it this bright, but I just want to bring out the texture and the sculpt. So this is just, again, kind of all like undertones for everything. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm gonna do the head. Okay. So that's like the base tone. It took a long time to get there. For the medium tone, or the darker gray, that's number 3. opaque, a little opaque. This isn't dark enough. We need. I don't want to mix up the custom color. Let's see what happens. I just want some clear black. But my alarm's about to go off. Stop here. I don't want to mix up paint that I'm not ready to use. So I'll probably just sign off here, guys. It's about all I can get done right now. So. I'll go to the doctor, go to the paint stores, and get some more tones, but that's kind of where we are. I just wanted to get the dry brushing done to bring out the texture and the sculpt. Oops. I think that's looking pretty good. Oh, well, I need that. I use my skin so when I do the dry brushing, I can see how much paint's coming off. So yeah, that lets me know when I dry brush if I got enough, how much paint I've got. That's why I use this my skin specifically for that. It's acrylic, so it's not gonna hurt me. Yeah, so I have to have the bare skin for that. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Crap. Let me look at my reference. I forgot to do his gloves. Alright, I'm gonna go back and do that. So I'll have to. I forgot to do his gloves, which are kind of this. Or maybe I do those like in a metallic black. That may be kind of cool if I do that fabric like in a shiny black, shimmery black. I may do that just so it's different. Okay, guys, I'm gonna sign off. Thanks for hanging out. If I can, I'll come back on this later this afternoon and do some more stuff. But yeah, thanks so much. The base looks freaking fantastic. I even showed it to my wife, and she was impressed. And she usually doesn't care what I do. But I'm going to the doctor. Hopefully, I can get something for this cough, and then make my errands to the supply stores, and then depending on what time it is, I get done with that. Maybe I'll come back on later today. But thanks for hanging out, guys. Bye.